What's great about indies is that the authors don't hesitate to convey and implement a big ambitious project whose list of futures would make solid publisher chuckle nervously. You a small studio and all this by yourself? Ridiculous, goodbye. However, sometimes such projects do make great games. For example, Vagrus The Riven Realms, which was made by a small Hungarian studio. To intrigue and convey the scale of what's going on, I will say Vagrus The Riven Realms, on which Lost Pilgrim Studio has collected over 200,000, is a mixture of a banner saga, The Age of Decans and Kenshi, in a last word of dark fantasy, sometimes resembling the Dark Sun searching from the Dungeons and Dragon universe. This world of course is designed in post-apocalyptic colors. Cataclysmic sword was provided by gods themselves. They did not like the way people followed in the scene and acted, and 1,000 years ago the gods decided to arrange a restart. Let it to be no longer Sodom and Gomorrah in an entourage similar to the flourish outside and rotting inside of ancient Rome. But a harsh survivor in the post-apocalyptic desert, teeming with monsters, mutants and zombies. However, there's a more intelligent inhabitants. Humans, orcs, dwarves, elves, half-elves, half-demons, half-dragons, and even intelligent crystals. Plus, lots of assorted factions, trading houses, cults, crime syndicates, cities, settlements, ruins, mines, and so on. And in the minds of all this, we are not in all white, of course, but in a sweet and work clothes. After all, we have the difficult task of leading our caravans through his vast and uncomfortable desert, hoping that tomorrow you will not be devoured by mutants and killed by your own slaves. Vagrus, in the local slang, is the captain and Comitus is the caravan, and it's really big and very righteous. So, as a Vagrant of our Comitus, we have to gain either fame and honor or huge riches over 10 in-game years. And these are two different lines of unique quest, in addition to the general plot ones. Rich man first think you need to get a license to establish his trading post, and hungry for glory to find the legendary Vagrus and gain from his wisdom. Or you cannot set yourself any global goal and endlessly survive in world of zombies, half-demons and visible crystals. There is also a tutorial campaign simplified in mechanics, but very entertaining. However, in all these caves, even in the future scenario, no one restricts us by anything, except the moral principles, the timing of some quest and the resources you need to get where you want. But you are free to forget about the story at any time to go anywhere on the map. Visit the first city, go a tavern or brothel, buy drink for the whole team, learn local rumors and news, to take orders from some cultist to deliver a party beer, and even take with them the passenger, which should escort to the settlements, which is 3 days away. And in the town itself there are shops, an arena and bounty hunter's office, and here on the map already new points of interest and sources of income. At the same time, you cannot even choose the quest and just betray the one who inserted it, and there are several ways to do it. I in any case such a proposal at the beginning of this boring adventure. However, I had to betray someone who had asked me to help with an investigation in the name of the Empire. And now you will find out if it's worth messing with the Imperials. Decisions here have serious consequences. As they hinted transparently to me, even the way you communicate, yes, I am willing to do the job, or no, I don't work for free anymore, has an effect and attitude of the character, and on the way the person you are talking to look at him or her. Our decision also affects the companions, who gradually join the team. All of them are also colorful. A dwarf who was betrayed by his former business partner, a half-naked, somewhat drugs-like mercenary from Guardian of the Galaxy, with great connection in the underworld, and a bird girl offering her services as a hunter came to me fairly quickly. You can talk to them all, ask their opinions about each other, inquire about their past, and have affairs. Before we embark on this intriguing but very challenging journey, we create our own Vagrus. It all like in big RPGs. Choose a race, the region, global specialization, and priority skills. All of this, of course, directly affects the starting characteristics and abilities. People Imperials, for example, immediately got bonuses in relation with certain factions and +1 to the perks associated with religion and intelligence. Orcs take the same strength, endurance, and intimidation adventure, as well as a unique intimidation totem, and half-elves get a good luck charm and a dexterity bonus. There's a lot of parameters and perks: medicine, persuasion, survival, intimidation, art of deception, knowledge or trade, religion, history, herbalism, hunting, alchemy, engineering, navigation, magic, flair, and so on. And then there are special skills available only to us. The leader, for example, the ability to support competence in battles, a bonus to caravan movement points on the map, or an increase in the change of success during a persuasion intimidation skill check. A special resource plus is spent on the use of leadership skills. In addition, there is a parameter of authority. In particular, it determines the tolerance of competence to our decision and how many roles we can assign them in the caravan. Someone will be responsible for hunting and someone will help with the financial affairs, which give bonuses to the overall performance of the party. By the way, each company has its own set of characteristics and packs that we develop. All this must be pumped up for insight points, which are issued for our achievements, including the passage of the plot and filling out pages of the Tick Codex. Really, the most important thing about the parameters and packs is everything that has to do with survival. It's not nothing that the developers post on the Steam page, and in the game itself emphatically warns that Vagrus, the Riven realms, is painful and hardcore. The caravan includes slaves, workers, farriers, and scouts. All of them except the slaves need to be regularly paid wages. All of them need to be fed. Otherwise, the nutrition parameter will drop and morale will start to drop as well. And this here, unlike many similar games, is not empty rose. Soon you will begin a manfully look you in the eye, ask inconvenient questions, go weird with the critical consequence for the passage, especially if disciplines among the slaves drops. This is a separate parameter, obedience, which must be maintained with a stick or carrot. Punish the slaves with slashes in time or give some of them freedom, transferring them into the rank of hired laborers. So we have to constantly buy food, but this is not cheap. You can send scouts for explore the area to hunt here, or during breaks, send your men to search the surroundings, but this reduces the stamina of the party, affecting the speed of its movements and the ability to make emergency marches. You can and should trade, but at first you do not really know what and where it's better to buy or sell. You need to understand and in particular to build relationship with factions, which among other bonuses will give information about the pieces in the location belong to the faction. It is necessary to take a part-time job, but after 5 days for the city, where we accompany our passenger, you may find that there is almost no food left, because you constantly have to camp, rest and feed people. That's why it's especially available to spend the night in a good condition in taverns. It's pricey, but it gives bonuses to your mood and nutrition. During the same time, in order to get bonuses, you need to put up goods, but this requires a sufficient number of warriors, and they in turn also want to eat and get paid. All in all, Vagrus the Riven Realms is a real simulation of Chaos Warrior Caravan. That's not even to say that you need to buy equipment for your riding animals, which are responsible for the capability of the caravan. If you get real hungry, you can eat them, but it's very expensive afterwards. City also allow you to buy slaves, hire scouts, workers and farriers, and the latter, if there are enough horses, are better transferred to riders, they are more effective in defending the community. Yes, your caravan can be attacked, or we ourselves are on a quest to attack salmon. In this case, there is a general fight against the wall, team combat. in which our and the enemy's damage and defense scores are compared. Usual battles are held according to a formula reminiscent of Disciplines and Darkest Dungeon. Our and the enemy stand opposite each other and take turns attacking, using unique skills. They can, for example, strike two enemies and attachment squares at once, push someone back, or constantly pull them in. And we give their resources and free to support your own, inspire, increase intensity, and so on. Plus, we have to shuffle our defense modes like dodge or block. The problem is that the enemies are very strong and often attack in waves. As a result, even at the beginning as a companion, some companions have to constantly treat during breaks, wasting time and inexpensive medicines. So both I and the authors warn you. The River Realms is an epic and multi-factor RPG in a well-developed world full of strategic, tactical and role-playing possibilities, but it's not easy to play. Be prepared for the routine of the some action and having to try again. Well, there's always the option to start the walkthrough in a lightweight mode. Vagrus the Riven Realms is almost all good, and there's exactly two problems. The first problem, the interface, given the small size of the font, can literally become a headache. Well, iPath still seems drawn out because of the need of constantly make stops. The number of points of the caravan would be better to increase. So this is also a game for those who have a lot of free time.